I think, who did not attend the demo? Madhu, you didn't attend the demo, right? Sorry. Who else is there? Somebody who said didn't attend the demo?
I did not attend the demo.
Yeah, you didn't attend the demo. So I will show you. Maybe I'll just walk you through the topic list once again. What all
Yeah.
things that we are going to cover, and I will send you the demo video. I had taken demo for I think most of them except you. Everyone else
Okay.
took a demo, basically some introduction to DevOps. I think everyone
Okay.
else here attended that. I will send you a video. Watch that once.
Okay.
I mean, not me. Your
Yeah.
consultancy would be sending you the video. Watch that once.
Okay.
Right. So this is the list of topic that we are going to cover. Shravanti, I think you also didn't watch the correct, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes. Today it started today only, right?
Yeah, class started today only. Actually, I
Already
was.
demo over, huh?
I mean, I used to take demo before the actual training starts. It's just an
Okay.
overview about DevOps, but the topic list I would give you and the demo video which I will send you.
Okay, okay, sure.
That will be help. I mean, you will get a good idea on the basic DevOps principle. Just it's just a beginning, right? So I will send
Okay.
you the video. Maybe it will be helpful.
Okay, okay, sure.
Okay, so what you see right on my screen is what the topic list that we are going to cover. We are going to start with some. Shravanti, can you mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. So right now, what you see in my screen is the topic list that we are going to cover, and it is a full practical training. Uh, we start with the Linux basics, and this is helpful for those who is completely new to Linux. And after completing these basics, I think we need 2 days to cover the basic commands and some user management topics and some permission topics in Linux. Tomorrow and day after, we will finish that. And starting from Saturday, we will start actually. Normally, there are no classes in weekend, but only this Saturday we are going to have classes. Start from next week. Hardly you will have weekend classes. There can be weekend classes, but in that case, I will let you know at least 3 4 days before. Right? And anyway, you will get access to the recorded videos. You will be able to watch the recorded videos in case, right? Don't miss any class. It is very important in that you should be in sync starting from the Linux basics. Then we will move on to the Linux administration, which is the core basics to DevOps. It's very important that you understand how a software work, how you can run a PHP application in a Linux environment, how to run a Java application in a Linux environment, how these applications can connect to a database. So we are actually covering some very important topics here, which is the core basics to DevOps. So it is important. I think some of you already know Linux, but even if you know Linux as well, you still need to take this training, Linux administration, and the networking basics also. This is both of them are very core topics which you need to understand very well, and also you need to do all the practicals and assignment in time. So after covering Linux basics, these are the topics we will start with. Basically, it is the traditional Linux system administration topics. Then only you would be able to compare the difference between today and the DevOps side, right? When we learn DevOps, you should be able to do this comparison. Okay, you could do things this way against how you do it manually. So this is important that you must know how system administration works before starting with DevOps, right? And after we are finishing this course, we'll move on to cloud computing, which where we are covering AWS. AWS is a leading cloud computing provider today. And these are the services that we are going to learn. These are they offer a lot of services. EC2 is one service that allow you to create machines. If you want to create a Linux machine or Windows machine, all you need to do is click on some button to create the machine is created. So from this particular service of AWS, you can create machines, or just click on some button, the machine is created within 2 seconds. ELB, Elastic Load Balancers, auto scaling, VPC. VPC is one service through which you can actually create a network. It's a virtual network. It is not a actual network that you would see in your offices, but it will actually look like a actual network, like a network that you would see in your office, or a local network that you see in your home. A same kind of network you can create inside the cloud computing provider AWS just by clicking on some button. You can create a network which is actually a virtual network, but it will look like a physical network, and you can do that at absolutely no charges. It's free. And there are different. S3 is a storage service. If you want to, something like a Google Drive, but it can do even more than a Google Drive. Your software applications can actually save the static files in a file storage like S3, which is a cheap but highly available storage. So like that, these are different services. Our plan is we will learn how to set up and design an infrastructure in the cloud where you can run your software applications. We will learn about these PHP, some PHP application and some Java application that we will cover when we learn Linux administration. Then when we learn cloud, we will actually set up a infrastructure that contains multiple machines. Then we will deploy these software applications into this environment that you would design in the cloud. And it would be a powerful environment that you are designing. It's actually some of the project that I am working in right now. Maybe I wanted to give you right how things would look like in real time. So this is the main project, one of the main projects. Actually, we are doing 3 projects, one under cloud computing, 2 under DevOps. There are 2 projects under DevOps. One is continuous integration, other is config management that I will talk about. So that's about cloud computing topic that we are going to cover. Then we will start with the DevOps tools training. These are the different tools that we are going to learn under DevOps: Git, GitHub, GitLab, and Jenkins, Docker, Nagios, Chef, Puppet, Ansible. Right? These are different tools that we are going to cover. And again, there is going to be 2 projects. One project is continuous integration, which is actually a major part in DevOps. And the next one is config management, basically setting up the same infrastructure. I mean, rather than you handling your infrastructure, you would configure some tool which will start managing your infrastructure. That's what config management is all about. Right. So anyway, right now I'm not going to talk about them in depth. I would be sharing the videos with you, Shravanti, and I missed your name. I would be sharing the video with both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine.
There you can find more information. Okay. So today we will start with how do you set up your lab environment. Basically, initially what you need is a Linux machine. That's the first requirement. You need one Linux machine. Our entire course would be based on Linux. We would be working a lot on Linux machines. So you need one Linux machine. You don't really need to set that up in your laptop. Instead, what you can actually do is you can create yourself an account in AWS. AWS is a cloud computing provider, and one of the topic that we are going to learn. But right now, you don't need to learn AWS. What you need to do is you need to create an account in AWS, register yourself for an account, then you would become eligible for 1 year free trial. You can get one Linux machine from AWS for 1 year, which is absolutely free. You don't need to pay a penny to AWS. You will get one machine for free for first 1 year. So For now, we will use that machine as our lab environment, right? Whenever we want to work on something, or when we want to learn, try running some basic Linux commands, when we want to create some usage and give permission to the usage. So any topic that we are going to cover, right, throughout this training, we are going to configure everything inside that Linux machine that you are going to get from AWS. And you will have some tool. Doesn't matter if you are using a Windows laptop or MacBook or Linux laptop, it doesn't matter. You are not going to work on your laptop. You are actually going to work on the Linux machine that you get from the cloud. Okay, so I will show you how you can create yourself an account in AWS. You can do along with me. I will give you time. As I speak, you can work along with me to get your AWS account created. You need one credit card. If you don't have a credit card, and if you are in India, you can use your debit card also. That will also work. And they will charge you 2 rupees. If you are from India, they will charge you 2 rupees for verification. Those who are from US, they will charge you $1 for verification, which is actually a refundable amount. It's not a chargeable amount, right? So this is what you need to do. Go to your browser and access aws.amazon.com. Then click on this button, sign into the console. Click on this button, sign into the console on the top right. But in your case, you can do it along with me. All of you, go ahead, open your browser, type in aws.amazon.com. Then on the right side, either you would see an option create a new account, or you would see an option sign into the account. Whatever, click on it. That yellow color button, click on it. And probably you would be redirected to a page something like this. Again, click on create new AWS account button. It will ask you to provide your mail ID, provide the password. You need to enter the password 2 times. Give it some name, maybe your name. Then click on continue. Then provide the information, like it will ask you for your mail ID, a phone number, personal address, many details it will ask you. Provide all those information. In the next page, there is some phone verification. Basically, they will call you on your phone, whatever phone number you had given, they will call you on that number. They will ask you to enter a code which is displayed in the browser for the phone verification. You need to do that, right? Once you got the call from AWS, you need to take the call. Then whatever number that you see in your browser, you need to enter that, type in, and then your phone number will be verified. In the next page, it will ask you for the credit card information. You need to provide the credit card information. If you are from India, debit card will also work. You need to provide that information. Go next. They will charge you 2 rupees if you are from India, 2 rupees. If you are from US, it would be $1. Then again, it will ask you what support plan you want to choose. Go with the basic, the free one, right? Do not choose any service if it shows you any chargeable amount. Go with the free service, free support plan, which it's basic. And that's it. That's the last option. Go ahead and do it. Just go to aws.amazon.com, right side top, click on create new AWS account, then follow the wizard, complete creating your AWS account. I will wait for 5 minutes. Even if you couldn't complete it now, don't worry, you can do it later also, but I want you to complete it by today. I would be sharing the video with you if you, right, if it takes time for you. Go ahead and do it. I will wait for 5 minutes. And once you are done, you have the option to log into the account. Click on that login button. You would be redirected to a login page. Provide your mail ID, provide your password, whatever password that you had used during the sign up. sign into your AWS account, and this is how your account will look like once you are signed in. Click on sign into the console button, then you are logged in. Yeah, this is how your account will look like once you logged in. And on the right side top, you can actually see a list of places: Virginia, California,
Basil,
Ireland.
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, I'm getting phone verification a message saying that when prompted, enter the four-digit number from the AWS website on your phone keypad. So, what is this four-digit number?
you
Where I
didn't
can
get
see.
the call from AWS, is it?
Okay, so
Basically,
they will tell me about this four-digit number.
yeah, they will call. They are supposed to call you. If you didn't get the call, then it should be some technical problem. They will call you on your
Yeah,
phone.
because yeah.
Then you need to
Okay.
enter that four-digit code on your mobile phone. That's for verification. The whatever mobile number you provided is the
Okay.
valid number. They are verifying that.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, you can try again. Go back to the previous page, then try again. Again, it would generate a new four-digit code, and they will call you. Maybe you can do that later. Okay, so once you logged into AWS, on the right side top, near to your account name, in my case it's Basil. So near to the account name, you would see some place name, Ireland or Mumbai, Singapore, London, Frankfurt. These are different places in the world where you can create your machines. So right now our intention is you want to create a Linux machine. So which place you want to create the machine in? So I want you to stick to only one place. Don't change it. In my case, I am sticking to Mumbai. Probably whenever you log in, you would be redirected to a default place. Better you stick to that. Don't change that. I mean, we are going to learn later AWS in detail. At that point, you'll understand why I said don't change that. But right now, just take it as a take it as a note. Do not change the region. Each time you log into your AWS account, make sure that you are on your favorite region. So in my case, I selected Mumbai. In your case, whichever you are selecting, stick to that each time you log in or whenever you want to create a machine, always stick to one region. In my case, Mumbai. Right. So once you selected your favorite region, click on services over here. Then click on EC2. This is the place where you can create the Linux machine which I talked about. Click on EC2. You will be redirected to a page something like this. Click on instances on the left side. You can see the list of machines that you already have. In my case, I have two machines. In your case, you will not have any machine because you haven't created any machines. What you need to do is click on launch instance on the top, this blue color button, launch instance on the top. Then it would show you a list of operating system: Windows, Linux. These are different Linux flavors. This is one Linux operating system. This is another Linux operating system. This is one Linux operating system. This is one Linux operating system. This is a Windows operating system. So it would show you a list of operating system you can choose from. So unless you are very comfortable with Linux, I mean, if one of these Linux you already know, you can choose anyone. Otherwise, you stick to what I am using. I'm going to use Ubuntu Server 16.4 as my Linux operating system, Linux server. I'm going to click on select button next to Ubuntu Server 16.4. You also do the same thing unless you are not from a Linux background. So in the next page, it will list down different types of machine, T2 nano, T2 micro, right? T2 small. By default, it is T2 micro. Don't change that. It must be T2 micro. I told you, you get one machine for free whenever you create a new AWS account. For the first 1 year, you will get one machine for free. You will be eligible for that free tier only if you use T2 micro machine. So if you choose any other machine, they will charge you. So select T2 micro, then click on review and launch button here. Okay. So once you clicked on review and launch button, it would show you some summary of the options that you have selected. Click on launch button once again. You will get two options. Choose an existing key pair or create a new key pair. So choose this option, create new key pair. Basically, you are going to create a key using which you want to log into this Linux machine which you are creating. So I am giving some name to the key, maybe December 13. This is the name of the key which I am going to create. Once I gave a name, click on download key pair button and immediately you can see one key has been downloaded to my computer. In my case, I am using a MacBook. In your case, you are using different operating systems in your laptop. Whatever it is, give a key pair name, click on download button. A key will be downloaded to your laptop. It is using this key in your laptop you are going to log into this Linux machine which you created inside your AWS account. Okay, so this key is important. If you lose this key, you will not be able to log into the machine. So then click on launch instance again. Then you can see the machine is getting created. It won't take time. Within seconds it would create. So now if I want to see the machine that I have created, I can go back to the same page, click on services, click on EC2, click on instances on the left side. Then I can see the machine which is being launched. Right now it is in pending status. If I refresh it, it won't take much time. Refresh it. Now the machine is in running status. Machine is up. The machine is up and running. Okay, great. So if you click on this machine, downside you can see the IP address of the machine. This is the IP address of the machine which you just created. In your case, you can do the same thing. Click on the machine that you have created by coming into this page, then click on the machine that you have created. Down you can see the IP address of the machine that you have created. So from your laptop, whether maybe you are using a Windows laptop or maybe you are using a MacBook or maybe you are using a Linux operating system in your laptop, doesn't matter. Whatever operating system that you use in your laptop, from your laptop you can log into this new EC2 machine that you have created. So I will show you. Anybody here uses a MacBook? My voice is breaking. Is my voice breaking? I think for Faisal my voice is breaking. Is it same for everyone? Shavanti or anyone, is my voice breaking?
No, Basil. It's clear.
Faisal, I think it should be problem at your side. Okay, so
Yeah. Hi, Basil. Actually, I have created the account.
mhm.
Yeah, I struck it there. It's asking AWS services. What I have to give there?
You are logged in. Did you log in?
Yes. Yeah, logged in.
Yeah, from the services, click on EC2. Then click on instances on the left side. You will be taken to this particular page. And for creating a new machine, you need to click on the launch instance button. But maybe you can do that later.
Yeah, okay.
You can just listen to the class. Yeah.
Yeah, you can share the recorded videos, right?
Yeah, I will send you the recorded video.
Okay,
Actually,
okay.
Santosh will send you the recorded video. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, thank you.
yeah, sure. Right. So I created a machine, and this is the IP address of the machine I have created. Now I want to log into this machine. Anybody here uses a MacBook?
No.
Nobody, right? Okay. So I will show you. Yeah, Debabrat. Anybody uses?
No, I'm not also using.
Okay, so I will show you the steps if you are using Windows, and anybody uses Linux. I hope not. Right. So I hope everyone is using Windows. Let me know otherwise. So if you are on a Windows laptop, I will show you the steps that you need to follow in order to log into this machine which you have created. Okay. So there is a software called Putty. Search in Google. You need to download this software Putty to your laptop. Search in Google for Putty download. You would be taken to this website putty.org, or you can directly type in this URL www.putty.org.
Yeah.
Click on the download button, click here. You will be taken to the software page. There are two things that you need to download. You need to download putty.exe, also puttygen.exe. Putty.exe is the tool that you would use in a Windows PC to log into the remote Linux machine, right? You all have a Windows laptop. This is your laptop, and the machine that you have created is in Mumbai, right? The inside AWS you created a machine. I'm going to call this machine an EC2 instance or EC2 machine. I'm going to call this a EC2 machine. So from your laptop, you want to log into this EC2 machine. In that case, you need the IP address of the remote machine. You need the key file of the remote machine, which you already downloaded. You also need the username of the remote machine, which is Ubuntu by default. So this information you need to have with you. So these three information you would use inside your Putty to log into the remote machine. So when you open the Putty page, it would ask you what is the IP address that you want to log in. So provide the IP address of your EC2 machine. Then it will ask you what is the username. You need to provide the username. Then you need to provide the key also, the key you already downloaded. You provide all this information to Putty. Then Putty will connect you to the remote Linux machine and open a command line of the remote Linux machine. That's what I'm going to do now. I mean, I cannot show you. I'm using a MacBook, but I will show you the screenshot how it will look like. And so, what is the purpose of this PuttyGen? I'll tell you. Right. This PuttyGen we are using. Basically, the key which you downloaded from AWS is not in the format which you can directly use that in Putty. It is in a different format. First, you need to convert this key which I downloaded, right? This December 13.pem. This is not in a format that can be directly used in Putty. I need to first convert this key into a Putty format, which is called PPK file. Right now, it is in PEM format. I need to convert this file into PPK format before I could use this key in the Putty. And that is the reason I am downloading PuttyGen. PuttyGen is a tool using which I can convert my key to PPK. So first download both the software putty.exe and puttygen.exe. Then open puttygen.exe. It is the direct exe files which you can open in your Windows. Open the puttygen.exe by double clicking on that file. You will get a window something like this. I will show you the screenshot. You will see a window something like this. You need to click on this button, load button over here.
Yeah, I'm done till here.
Right. So after clicking on the load button, you would be taken to a browser window, file browser window. You need to go to the folder where you downloaded the key, right? You downloaded this December 13.pem from AWS. Go to the folder where you downloaded your download, probably it's your downloads folder. Go to that folder. Still you won't be able to see the key, then it means that here you need to select all files from the drop down, then only the file will become visible to you. The PEM file, the December 13.pem file, probably it is not visible to you by default. The reason could be you haven't selected all files from the drop down. So select all files from this drop down, the file will become visible. Select the file, click on the open button, then you will get a pop-up saying that successfully imported the foreign key. Click on the OK button, it will disappear. Right? Click on the OK button, the message will disappear. Then you need to click on this button, save private key. Now it will ask you where you want to save the private key. You need to select a location, maybe inside your desktop. You can save the private key, give it some name, maybe the same name you can give, or right, give it some name. Save that key in a secure location. The new key is in a PPK format. Now you got the PPK file. Using this PPK file, you will use in your putty to log into the remote Linux machine. That is what I am going to show you now. Okay. So you got the PPK file. Now this PPK file you want to use in putty to log in. So I will show you how your putty will look like. Now double click on putty.exe. Yeah, when you open the putty.exe file, it would open a page something like this. Over here in this particular box, you need to specify something like this: Ubuntu the IP address of your EC2 machine, where you can see the IP address of the EC2 machine. If you select your EC2 machine, here you can see the IP address of your EC2 machine. So in this particular box in your putty, put something like this: Ubuntu whatever IP address that you see in your AWS account. Once you did that, click on this plus button next to SSH to expand the SSH menu. Once you expanded that menu, you would see a auth, something called auth in the submenu of SSH. You will see auth. Click on auth, not the plus button, just click on auth. On the right side, you will see a browse button. Click on the browse button. It will open your Windows file browser. Select the PPK file that you have already saved in your laptop. Select that PPK file. Now click on open button. Then first time when you click on open button, you will get a warning. Are you sure want to continue connecting? Give yes. That's it. You will get a command line window. A command line window, which is nothing but your remote Linux machine. These are the steps that you need to follow. in order to create
Uh,
yourself a Linux machine and log into the Linux
Basil,
machine.
Basil, can you tell me what I need to do after opening the PuTTY and entering the Ubuntu IP address?
After that, click on this plus button which is next to SSH. Then the SSH menu will be expanded. You will see something
Yeah.
called auth. Click on auth,
Oh,
not
I
the
could
plus
not
button.
see any.
Not the plus button. You need to click on auth.
You mean AUTH?
AUTH, right?
Yeah. Okay.
On the right
Then I
side,
need to open the PK file.
right.
PK.
Click on the browse button. Select your PPK file.
Okay. Then just enter the open.
Right.
Okay.
You will get a
Yeah.
black color window which is nothing but the
Yeah.
remote Linux machine.
Yeah. Got it.
So all of you, you need to complete these steps today, right? Because tomorrow we are